Once upon a time, in the ancient kingdom of Zenam, lay the villages whose lifeblood flowed from their cherished stream called Amalu. For generations, its waters had quenched thirst, provided sustenance, and been the sacred dwelling place of the dreadful sea goddess, Eruka. Known as the goddess of wealth. The kingdom of Zenam had cherished her stream for many years. It has been a source of drinking water, a place of leisure, a source of food, and importantly to the people of Zenam for many centuries, the dwelling place for the great and ferocious Eruka, the sea goddess of wealth. So for centuries the people of Zenam cherished their stream, the waters of Amalu as it is called from the days of old. And with it came great stories of old, stories of wealth and productivity. It had made many fishermen wealthy, it had made many farmers rich, it had given children to the barren, it had given them victories in wars against their enemies, and it had made the kingdom to flourish for many years. Yet, as time wove its tapestry, the younger generation grew indifferent, neglecting the traditions and tales that once breathed life into the kingdom. The stream, once vibrant with stories of abundance, began to wither, its fame fading like whispers in the wind. As the children grow and the old died, Amalu, the dwelling place of the sea goddess Eruka, had started drying up, and so was its fame. The younger generation did not care too much for it. Everybody was busy enjoying their lives while the fame and the glory of the waters of Amalu slowly washed away, as it was almost dried up. Desperate attempts by the elders to appease the sea goddess through sacrificial offerings proved futile as the stream continued to dwindle. The younger ones, oblivious to the ancient customs, turned a blind eye, ignorant of the deity's cries echoing through the night. The older generation from time to time tried to save what was left of their cherished waters. Nevertheless, try as they could, it continued to dry off. To make matters worse, the younger generation were never part of such sacrifices, and before long everyone had forgotten about the sea goddess of wealth. Everyone but Eruka, now the god of the old, who the villages living next to the stream still hear cry at nights. And lot of dwellers have heard her cries, so much so that no one goes close to the stream at night. The god had been forgotten and the people had moved on. And so it was that Eruka became the forgotten god of the old people. Amidst this neglect, life in Zenam flourished, farms thrived, commerce prospered, and fishermen sought new waters, unaware of the looming shadow cast by their forgotten deity. The fishermen had moved over to the river Abu Duku, a mile away for their fishing, and everything was good. Good until Mango Market Day, and the joyous occasion marking the union of Funchua, the daughter of Dimpa the farmer, and Lakil, the son of the renowned hunter, Kigali. There was a lot of food and meat to eat, because Lakil's father had killed an elephant for the occasion. There was singing and dancing, and everyone was overjoyed for the great union. Everything was done right as expected. Dimpa, the father of Funchua, had brought water from the waters of Amalu to wash the palms of Lakil as a tradition to welcome him to the family, and Kigali, the father of Lakil, had brought water from river Abu Duku to wash his daughter-in-law's palms to welcome her home. Everything seemed right, but who would have known that it was the first time anyone was using two different water sources at once in the ancient kingdom? Little did they know, their unwitting act of mixing waters from two different sources would awaken the wrath of Eruka. Everyone celebrated with the newly wedded couples and went back home, some with potions of elephant meat and food. While on the background their action had kick-started something that will haunt the whole kingdom and bring the vengeance of Eruka upon them, for all the years they have forgotten her. That fateful night, her anguished cries pierced the silence, her voice laced with fury and betrayal, as she declared her vengeance upon the oblivious villages that made up the kingdom of Zenam. The people around the river Amalu did not only hear her cry, but for the first time ever some got to hear her scream in anger as she spoke.
Ah! They have used me. They have taken all my riches. They have left me dry. They have taken my sacrifices to the traitor Abuduku, a foreign god. Now they bath my sons and daughters with the river Abuduku. Eruka is not afraid of Abuduku. I will not be pushed into the night and forgotten. My vengeance must fall upon the people of Zenam many times over. And the villages in Zenam will greatly feel my wrath.
Again and again she cried, so much so that everyone heard the news. And by morning the king sent out the town crier to announce to the villagers that an elders' meeting had been called. In a panicked frenzy, the elders convened, seeking to appease the enraged goddess. Sacrifices were arranged, but their actions only stoked her ire further, for they had ignored the wisdom of their spiritualist. At the meeting, which was made mostly of chiefs and the elderly, everyone agreed for another sacrifice to Eruka to beg her for forgiveness. So they went out to the stream and slaughtered 6 he-goats to appease the goddess. But it could have been better if they had asked the village spiritualist first, for their action angered her even more. Again that night Eruka sat on the murky waters of what was left of the river of Amalu and cried out in anger.
No! For a hunter's son, they killed an elephant, but for the great Eruka, 6 hungry goats, they have shamed me, and I have nowhere to hide my face. They have beaten more than they can chew. But I am still the great Eruka. I will redeem my honor.
As dawn broke, Eruka's wrath manifested, her presence looming over the village, a specter of retribution, as she floated into the community for vengeance. With a solemn decree, she singled out Lakil's home, leaving a chilling silence in her wake. Then she vanished in the compound of Lakil, the son of Kigali the great hunter, and for many years after no one heard from her again. The cries from the stream had stopped and she never spoke again for many farming seasons.
I am Eruka, the great and ferocious goddess of wealth. Zenam is mine. I will not be defeated or forgotten. I will return.